God sure has a funny way of sometimes turning what seems like a calamity into an opportunity. And that's exactly what happened with Sherry and Andreas when exploding dually tires on their vintage Dolphin Class C RV ripped out the bottom of their rig, forcing them to remodel. And what a brilliant and creative job they did, from sliding cabinet doors on tracks and a multi-functioning unique dinette to a 12-volt mini split and a $40 DIY composting toilet and so much more. And guess what? They do consultations. So make sure and check out the description for this video if you want information on how to contact this brilliant couple from Buenavidaroute YouTube channel to consult with you on your RV or van remodel. Well, hello, Sherry and Andreas. How are you?
We're good. Thank you.
Thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview. You have such an interesting backstory, and you have a channel that you broadcast in English and Spanish.
Yes, we do.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we're going to get to that. But you know what? Let's go ahead and tell everyone the name of your channel.
Buenavidaroute.
Buenavidaroute. Okay, everyone, you've heard that, so go over and check out Buenavidaroute. But I wanted to do a tour of this because I've never done a tour of a Dolphin, and this is, what year Dolphin is this?
It's a 1991.
All right, so we're going to get to the tour, but a little bit about your story first, because Sherry, you're a furniture maker, right?
I am.
But you trained as a chef.
Both.
And you went to interior design school, and your dad owned a furniture manufacturing business that you have taken over.
Right. About 22 years ago.
Oh my goodness. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot too.
But I'm shifting around a little bit, everyone. So if we move a little bit, be gracious to me. Give me some grace on this. But so I'm trying to decide where to start. You have so many interesting things, but let's start with the furniture making, because you actually designed and built all of the cabinetry and everything in here.
Yes. So obviously my background is making actually furniture that is fully upholstered, but fortunately growing up with a single dad meant that he kind of forgot that I was a girl and taught me how to use tools. So I was very grateful for when it came to having to remodel La Chata, because then it meant that I had some sort of background. And Andres has sort of learned along the way. But he was actually very good with, he knew electricity from before. So he was the one that did all the wiring in La Chata. And together we figured out the solar, and we've learned plumbing along the way. And yeah, we managed to do it with a lot of salvage goods too. We love Habitat for Humanity for picking up all sorts of things for remodeling. We are very savvy about buying things that are either used or being discarded off of like Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp. So that's like where we found our our countertops and our tabletop.
And a refrigerator too.
And we found that used refrigerator that Andres fixed.
You were telling me your refrigerator used was $100. You found the parts for about $300. So for $400, you have the equivalent of almost a $2,000 refrigerator?
Right. That's
wow.
right. Because this rig comes with a teeny tiny little refrigerator, and me being a cook, that was like not happening.
No.
So when we were forced to remodel La Chata, I was like, well, if we're going to remodel, we might as well get the refrigerator that we really want. But we didn't want to spend all that money in like such an expensive refrigerator. Plus, we just felt that older things were made better. So if we could find something that had better bones, that's what we tried to do.
Remodel was not planned at the time that you did it. You eventually had thought you were going to remodel, but it was as a result of a really dramatic accident. And do you want to tell us what happened?
Yeah, so the dualies underneath of where we're sitting blew out and tore through our floor, the plumbing to the heater, the plumbing to the refrigerator, the plumbing to the fresh water tank.
So you were telling me that the dualies actually, because they have metal in the tires, they actually blew up through the floor, a complete hole into your floor, and across. You said you had a big, huge, gaping hole in your floor.
We did. So what happens is that what it covers the wheel well is actually made out of fiberglass. So when the rubber that has metal that are in the tires tore through the fiberglass, it pulled the floor and literally shifted all of what is on this side of the rig by 2 inches.
Wow. And you were near Death Valley when this happened?
Yeah, we were on Highway 395, which is the Alancha entrance to the western side of Death Valley. So we were like 100 and something degree weather.
I was just going to say, please don't tell me it was the summer or...
It was the summer.
Oh my gosh.
It was the summer, so it was super hot. We were stranded on the side of the road and waiting for a tow truck that never came. And then eventually we found somebody who could come and replace the tires. And then we slowly made it back to LA.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, we're going to go through the tour and you're going to explain, because although you were a U.S. citizen and born here, you have family in Costa Rica.
We do.
And that's where historically some of your family is from. So you've spent time in both countries, considerable time. And you were telling me the two of you want to travel down through Mexico into Central and South America. So you did some things in this van with that in mind, and we'll go over that with the tour. But let's go ahead and start this tour, because this is really an amazing build. So we're going to get started on this tour.
Okay.
You were telling me, Sherry, that when you did the remodel, you decided to do drawers instead of doors. Can you explain why that decision?
Well, one of the reasons why is because when you have doors, you end up and you need something from the back, you end up having to pull everything out in order to get whatever it is on the back. And I don't want to have to go through that. So most modern kitchens have drawers instead, just make it easier. So in these drawers, basically, I can get all the way to the back, and the doors are nice and deep as the counters.
And you don't have to pull anything out. And then you designed deeper drawers too?
Yeah, and then I did deeper drawers so I can get all my cookware in here and it not have, one on top of each other, basically.
Okay, so that was an intentional thing. I'm seeing that you have some beautiful wood over here, and I'm guessing it might be reclaimed wood. Was that reclaimed?
It was, yeah. So Andres found this company that was getting rid of some racks that they used to do drying of fruit. And we picked them up, and they were super thin, and because they were so dry from so many years being in the sun, they were very lightweight, and we wanted something for the backsplash that was lightweight, because obviously you don't want to add extra weight to the rig. But that it was easily wipeable and cleanable and all of that. So we painted them, like whitewashed them, but in different colors that were the colors of our theme, and then installed them on the back, and they've been great. And
I see you have the same thing over here also.
Yes, it wraps around. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's beautiful. Now, let me ask you this. What do you power this? I see you have a little power generator here.
So this is from a brand that's called Itehil. We were actually it was given to us by this brand, and we really have loved it.
How much power is it?
This one's only 500 watts, but they do make some at 1,000, 1,500, and 2,000.
Okay.
And we have really loved it, mostly because we can just pull it outside, and I can use my blender or my mixer, make margaritas or smoothies in the morning. Right. But we do have solar in the rig as well.
Now, how much solar do you have?
We have 600 watts of solar panels at the top, a 2,000 watt inverter, and 3 100 amp hour batteries.
So you have a very decent battery system.
We do.
But what I'm finding, and I have also in my rig, even though I have that, I do also carry a little portable generator. I find it's just very helpful.
Yeah, and this one has a better technology than even the Jackery or the Bluetti.
Okay, and how so?
Because this one's got a live PO4 battery instead of a lithium battery.
Right, okay. Now, speaking of power, I'm looking at some of the things that you have in here, and one thing I just couldn't keep from looking at over and over is looks like you have a mini split back here.
We do. We installed that mini split late summer last year, right before we had our accident. And we installed it with the purpose of making sure that our dogs would be safe when we travel throughout the summertime.
So was that a difficult thing to do, installing that?
I think the most difficult thing was actually putting the hole through the roof in order to get the line through. But other than that, it wasn't actually that complicated, huh?
No, at all.
So is it really heavy?
The condenser is about 40 pounds, but we were already carrying an AC in here that was 80 pounds. So it actually took off 40 pounds worth of weight. And then the back is only about 15 pounds. It really just screws in with 5 screws.
So the unit that you have inside here is only 15 pounds.
Right.
And the condenser you have on top of the
roof. And it can either, one of the things that we really liked about it is that it can either go horizontal or vertical. So if you'd like to install it on the back wall of your rig, you also can do that.
I want to look at this a little more because air conditioning in a van is one of the big challenges, and trying to get it where it's light enough and that you can carry it. So now this, you have it hooked up here, and that hose, you're saying that hose runs up and into the condenser on the roof?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and you do have to have a place where you drain out the water condensation. So we drained it out into our little mini sink.
Okay, I'm looking here. It looks like,
pan
is this the hose here? This is the hose?
Clear hose.
Okay.
Will drain out the water from the condenser.
All right. And you're saying that in a more humid climate, you get maybe about a half a gallon if you ran it 12 hours?
Yes.
But in a drier climate, you wouldn't get as much?
Correct.
I'm going to have to look into that. And
this is 12 volt, which that's very important to mention. It's not 110. So you literally could just connect it directly to one single battery and it would still work.
I love that.
You have it connected to a solar system, but you could have one specific battery for it.
Let's look at some other things that typically take some power. And you have a refrigerator here. Now, is that on electric? Is it on propane?
We can install it on electric, but we mostly run it on propane.
Okay, and would you mind showing us? Because that's a huge refrigerator for a...
This was my baby and my gift when we remodeled it.
Okay.
Because as a cook, I needed more room. So it has a fairly large freezer. And we actually keep ice and then whatever proteins we have.
And what's down below, how big is that? Let's see.
And then this is the refrigerator part, and it has 4 shelves on the bottom. And then 4 on the door.
So how long if you stock up, how long can you go with that stocked up?
Probably a good 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Now let's look at another thing, and that is, I see over here you have a Dickinson little fireplace.
Yeah, so we replaced the heater that the car originally came with because it was actually installed down by the floor. And we never ran it. Even when we camped out in snow, we never ran it because we were always worried that the dogs would get burnt by the grill that came in front of it.
Okay.
So when we were forceful to remodel, we decided to do something up high.
Saying you got rid of your regular toilet, what did you replace your regular toilet with?
So we constructed a compost toilet. So we lift this lid and we have like what looks like a regular toilet seat.
Okay.
And then when you lift this up, it has a...
Oh, is it diverting?
Yes.
Okay.
So for lack of a better explanation, it almost has like what looks like a funnel. And
okay.
Your number 1 goes into like a juice jug and your number 2 goes into a bucket. And we line the bucket with a compostable bag and then throw in some sawdust. You do your business, you throw in some more sawdust.
So you made this yourself?
So we made this ourselves.
So instead of a $1,000 or $2,000 toilet, you made it, and how much did that cost you to make?
I think the most expensive part was actually the toilet seat, which was probably about $20.
Oh my goodness.
The jug you could get for free from just drinking juice or milk. The other one is a trash can that you could get at the 99-cent store.
So for under $40, it sounds like
under $40,
you have a composting toilet.
Yes.
So this is a Class C, so as is typical in a Class C, you have the bed that's up over the cab.
Yes.
All right, and that's a full size?
It's slightly smaller than a full size. It's a 48 inches and a full size is 54.
And you have something that you added to this.
Yes.
And why did you add it?
Well, one of them was because of condensation. So this area has 3 windows, and we realized, I think it was like on our second trip when we went up to Oregon and Washington, that the condensation would come down and would soak our mattress.
Oh, wow.
So we ended up installing a Frawley system underneath.
I've seen those on really high-end, I think, Travados, and like they're on like $100,000 and $150,000
but I
RVs.
mean, anyone can install them. They're super easy to install. You just interlock them together. They give you about 1.5 inches of height But the nice thing about it is that they also give you a lot of comfort. So not only is it preventing you getting your mattress soaked, it actually raises your comfort level in your mattress.
And you just got that on Amazon?
No, actually you go on Frawley.com and you get them based on the bed that you have. So like we bought a full size, and we end up having like a couple of rows left over. But you can find whatever's to your size, king, queen, or they even have some for like boats.
As a furniture maker, you have done just some amazing things with the dinette, and they're just so very, very creative. I didn't even know where to begin. I just had you then pull out this, so on each side you have the bottom part of the dinette pulls out, so it can become a chaise lounge, or you can pull out both sides and you can seat 4 people for eating, because then this little flip table comes out. Oh my gosh, this is like a Rubik's Cube or something. Then you can push that down with everything pulled out. I hope I'm explaining it. And it can become a double bed.
Correct. So 2 people can sleep on it. So we basically can ride with 2 extra people in La Chata and be able to all eat in here and be able to all sleep in here.
So it will then seat 4 and sleep 4.
Correct. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
But we mostly did it because we love entertaining and we didn't want to give that up by being a van lifer. So we wanted to still be able to have people over for dinner.
And you have one other thing, and we were going to show that. I'm going to get set up to show that because this is really cool. So we'll come right back. Well, I promised there was something else really cool about this, and you're going to show us now what it is.
Well, every little space counts when it comes to living small. So when we did the new banquette, we had literally 3 inches left over, but vertically 3 inches can mean a lot. So I created this little pull-out pantry.
With 3 inches, you now have... Oh my gosh.
I'm able to carry a lot of our food, dry goods, and some of our extra gadgets and electrical stuff, and Andres' all of his recording stuff, and even our 3A.
What haven't you thought of?
I'm sure there's things I haven't thought of. I still have a list of like 30-something things to go over.
There is another thing I'm looking at that I would be remiss if I did not include this in the tour, because this is what I want, and that is the sliding cabinet doors.
Yes. So what happened was when we installed the chimney, the Dixon chimney, we needed something to be able to open up the doors.
Gosh.
So
that is
little
so
double rails.
Cool. So you've got double rails there.
Because this one needs to go behind the other 2.
So let's see it go behind.
And we have magnets on them so that obviously when things are
okay. No, they get the idea. So the doors slide and go over each other.
And then they have magnets. See?
So they stay closed.
So they stay closed as we drive, and they're pretty strong. They're like, I don't know, 200 and something pound magnets. So you really got to pull on them for them to come out.
Thank you. This is one of the most unique vans I've ever seen. I just have one question. If you do some things from my van, will it come with a special meal?
Absolutely. I'm happy to cook for anyone anytime too.
Okay, all right. Because that's what everyone is going to want to know, because she has been putting out, yesterday you did cheesy biscuits, and what else did you do?
The sausage. I made sausage.
She made this sausage. But you know what? You can see for yourself, because after this, I'm going to do a cooking video with Sherry. So, and she's going to use, are you going to use the Omnia oven?
I'm going to use the Omnia oven, yes.
I love that. So stay tuned. I don't know when it'll air, but it'll air a couple days after this, and I'll let you know on my community page. And the name of your channel again?
So we're at Buenavidaroute on YouTube, Buenavidaroute on Instagram and TikTok, and even our website is called buenavidaroute.com.
Okay. Thank you, Sherry and Andreas.
Thank you.
See you down the road. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.